the ground here, and Glengad with their backs to the Galtee Mountains off in the distance on our left hand side. So Terence Doherty of Glengad to get proceedings underway here today. Once referee Vinnie Coonan from Cork blows the whistle, we're underway. That's Christy McLaughlin trying to work it out. Ball's coming across now to James McKinney. Steps inside John Connery and fed out wide. Steve McLaughlin trying to get a shot in. First effort, time effort, but ball rolls into hands of Adrian Walsh, experienced Adrian Walsh. So long with Carrick United and junior international goalkeeper, now in the colours of St Michael's, red top today. Michael's, green and white verticals, green nicks, white socks, and Glengad very much a black kit with gold numbering. Paul Breen climbing all over Terence Doherty. The throw goes Glengad's way. Paul Breen trying to get his head up. But, James McKinney under it, under control. We're joined by amateur international manager Jerry Davis here today. Opening couple of minutes, Jerry, but Glengad probably have seen more of the ball.
Yeah, Eamon, great occasion here today in Tipperary. Pitch immaculate, and yeah, they've started really bright, the team from Donegal, which is a really good indicator for the rest of the game, that they haven't come here now to sit back. To come here to obviously go and chase the game and try to get into the game. So let's see how it develops over time.
Well, Glengad certainly no mugs. Serial winners up in the Inishowen League, and in on goal, and Walsh had to come out of his box as Conor Barrow got one-on-one, and another indicator that the men from the Inishowen League are not here just to make up the numbers. Jimmy Carr under the drop. Turn, and he evades a couple of tackles and wins himself a free just inside the Michaels half. The referee pulling it back into the Michaels half. The typical Carr, just always a handful. Now it's Michael's turn, looking to get the ball down. It's with Breen feeding Higgins, the captain, goes long down the corner. But it's going to run out harmlessly for a goal kick. Glengad goes short. Serious amount of experience in this Inishowen League team. Some of the players out there, 16 trophies in 7 years, Oscar Traynor winners with the Inishowen League, underage schoolboy internationals. They're definitely a talented bunch, and any team that gets to the semi-final of the FEI Junior Cup has to have something about them. Ball's with Carr now, and he's trying to beat his man for his pace, and he gets his cross in, but overcooked. Goes out for a throw in deep in the Glengad half. Decent crowd here in Cook Park, maybe 600-700 people turned up for this match. Of course, there is another semi-final. We await the pairings. There is an appeal involving that game, which will be heard in Abbottstown on Wednesday. Slattery takes it in. Oh, and he tries to... Carr went down, I think, looking, tearing himself a free, but not given by the Cork official. Glengad go long. And Doherty wins himself a free. Strong physical presence there from Michaels, and they take it quick. Dylan Ruddy gets it out wide. Seamus Doherty looking to get his team on the attack. Shane Ryan leaving it for John O'Brien to take the throw in. Goes long into the feet of John Connery, but he can't control it, and Glengad clear their lines. Shane Ryan wins himself a free. Just to the left and about 15 yards out from the edge of the Glengad area. Ball with Jimmy Carr. Daniel Malarkey right there. Oh, and rising there was David Slattery, but he got too much on it and looped over the top. Jerry Davis, what we've seen is an initial period with Glengad, but it's switched now to Michaels having a bit of the ball, but no real pattern emerging to date.
No. I think the teams are just settling into the game at the moment, Eamon. Bit of pressure there from Michaels, a couple of free kicks in there, a couple of decent crosses in, Jimmy Carr. And I think both teams are now finding their feet in the game. And it'll begin to sort of settle down, I think, now, they'll feel themselves, each other out a bit, but it's been a bright opening. Pitch is really good, ball is moving well, so we're hoping for a decent game.
Second ball on the pitch, just a slight delay before we get going here again. Chris Higgins on the halfway line, the opposite side, the covered stand area. And he goes long, looking for Shane Ryan. Another Michaels throw in. And it's Carr in the corner, but he's well used to getting himself out of tight corners, as he does, and Higgins knocks a nice ball in. And it's with Breen. They're asking him to have a go, and he does. Oh my God, what an effort from Paul Breen, all at 30 yards. Remarkable. It's gone for a corner. Must have taken a deflection on the way through there. Best effort than Breen, coming forward, getting onto the ball and letting Leash with a fierce effort on goal. Oh, William Armshaw shows a little bit of trickery. He's had a good master in young Carr. The 30-year-old veteran for Michaels is back with Armshaw. Gloves on, looks to go past Christy McLaughlin in the corner, but it goes out for a harmless goal kick. Malarkey with the kick out, clears the halfway line. Breen rising, gets good contact on it. Steve McLaughlin dispossessed in the middle of the park. Oh, referee allows play go on, but he definitely caught. looking for a number there. Colin Bargery trying to shake off the effects of that contact. Well, Armshaw battling over in the corner there, but loses out. Glengad looked to go long, but they're being penned back a little now, a little more as we reach the 10th minute. You know, still scoreless here in Cook Park. Breen in again, using his weight, using his experience. 10th pass intercepted. John O'Brien with the ball. And it's Carr breaking forward, space beside him, players to the left and to the right. And dispossessed there. Clean tackle by Adam Byrne. Carr stayed down. Right on the 18-yard line. Match stopped. Like Thomas Holmes coming in to attend to Jimmy Carr. Well, there's a gentle breeze here in Cook Park. Sun threatening to come out at times, but as long as the rain stays away. So Jerry Davis was saying pitch in pristine condition here. Just a little bit of give. Beautiful setting. The Galtee Mountains off to the left. Stoppage allowing players to take on a bit of water, and Chalky Walsh for Michaels to get a word or two in, and Shane Byrne, manager Glengad, to get some instructions into his troops. Well, Jerry Davis, from experience, you know, Jimmy Carr, not a player to stay down, but he's been on the ground now for a couple of minutes.
He has, yeah, and it was a great run from Jimmy, a great break from midfield. He won the ball, and he ran at the two centre backs, but you know, it was a fantastic challenge from Adam Byrne, I have to say, to get back from Glengad, and a fairly won ball as well, and he had to make the challenge because Jimmy was on his way. Really strong run from Jimmy, but
about to run it out of play, but Daniel Malarkey keeps it in play. It's in his hands, and he's going long, a bit flat. Jimmy looking at, he's back on the field of play, is Jimmy Carr. 30 years of age now, but what an experienced guy, what a great performer, and what a great servant for club and country has Jimmy Carr been. Just Glengad, just one or two wayward passes. Glengad with lots of support here today. Long old trip. The team stayed in Thurles last night, but there was many supporters who set off before 7 this morning. 5-hour trip from up near the top of Malin Head. Next stop, Iceland up there. Glengad just find it a little bit more difficult in the past few minutes to make the ball stick. Ball out to William Armshaw. Lovely touch. Oh, and he's been taken down. Seamus Doherty over there, and first yellow of the match. Great first touch. Turned his man, and as he went to go by him, Doherty took him out of it, and referee Vinnie Coonan makes the first entry into the book, first yellow to the visitors. So over near the Glengad dugout, that's Shane Ryan on the ball. Oh, and it well in. Oh, and that was Sean Gearns with the header, but straight into the hands of the well-placed Malarkey. Good free, good effort. Keeper well positioned. Slattery rises and challenges with Seamus Doherty. And it's Christy McLaughlin trying to make some progress, but a concession of a free. The ball over on the touchline. Paul Breen about to set it up. Expect this one to go long. Glengad just with one player in the Michaels half, 10 of them filtering back into their own half. Comes off the head of Glengad player, but skipper McLaughlin gets it back to Malarkey. Higgins with a thunder of a tackle over on the far line. Well, Jerry Davis, a bit of a stop-start nature. I know that there was a lengthy stop for Jimmy Carr, but there's no real pattern or fluid to the match.
No, Eamon, would you'd expect that in a cup semi-final like this? You know, the prize is huge today. A day out at the Aviva Stadium to go and win your national competition. So you'd expect that since the injury, it has been a bit stop-start. All right, it's been a few stops for free kicks and everything else, but look, you'd expect that in such a tight, intense affair, you know. But it's only early. I'm sure the game will open up. We're only just 15 minutes into it, so it'll open up, you know, when people get into the game and get a little bit comfortable with each other.
Home ground, well familiar with the green turf that is Cook Park, but I don't think Glengad would have any complaints about the surface or the venue itself. Ideal location to host a match of this calibre. So Ryan from a similar position from where Gearns got his header in on goal. So Jimmy down the corner, 1-on-1 with Dylan Ruddy. Cross comes in. Shane Ryan, edge of the box, but over the bar for a fruitless kick out. Another effort by Gearns. Well, I suppose Glengad will be happy enough not to have conceded at this stage. I don't think they've shown their form or the form that's got them to this stage of the competition. But we know that they're very experienced, and they're probably just trying to play their way into the game a little bit more. Not with passes like that. and another sloppy pass, and suddenly they have to clear their lines rather hurriedly. Steve McLaughlin on the ball. Some confusion there. A bit of Shane Ryan. Ball under control, gets his head up, has options down the line, checks inside, ball with Carr. Carr into Armshaw, and there's that turn again. He's shown some form today. Proven quite elusive, and his low centre of gravity allowing him to get down low and turn his man, and having already extracted a yellow, Glengad are forewarned about this man's ability, and he gets a lovely cross in, and Malarkey rises high. There's a route one, and opportunity. Adrian Walsh somehow manages to pluck the balls off the feet of centre forward Terence Doherty just as about to strike. In fairness, he had his back to goal, but Walsh doing excellent there, off his line, averted potentially dangerous situation, but Glengad some hope there. Armshaw again. Glengad, and a very hurried clearance there from Dylan Ruddy, just clear his lines anywhere. Of the two, Michael's settling the better at this stage of the game, but you know, we're just past the 20-minute mark at this stage. Still scoreless here in Cook Park. Referee's been good so far. No histrionics, just getting on with it, calling most things right. Once a quick word with Shane Ryan. Over and done with. Well done. So ball at the feet of Glengad's skipper John G. McLaughlin. Gone short to James McKinney, and he rolls it in. It's with Doherty, and it opens up a little bit for him, and he has a shot from distance, but always gone wide, and well wide of Adrian Walsh's goal. Adrian with a up on this afternoon. His opposite number all in yellow, although I think there might be a pair of black tights in there somewhere. So Gearens knocks a long ball into the corner, and John O'Brien chasing it, but knocked out for a throw in at level with the 18-yard line. So Carr in the corner. Another turn, and finds his man. And looked like a handball to me, right in front of the referee, but Christy McLaughlin, opposite wing. The Michael's player in the centre circle holding his arm. That's Colin Bargery, but he's up, he looks okay, and we'll continue with the battle. Malarkey long again, and Breen comes from distance and wins it. So many times he does that. Remarkable player. And he goes long, knocks it long again. Oh. So James McKinney, but loses out. John Connery. Slattery looking to get himself involved, but Malarkey collects. And Matthew Bourne has it. Now skipper McLaughlin. And over to McKinney, just looking for a way out. Steve McLaughlin complains, but Coonan's having none of it. Get on with it. Carr for once loses out. But complaints from Glengad. Now, referee having a word with Adam Byrne, who contested the decision, and from my vantage point, it looked as if Adam Byrne has a very valid argument, but overruled, and Michael's ball. Ball ricochets off Armshaw, and a throw in for Glengad down the corner. More and more to play, beginning to be condensed into the Glengad half. And the Inishowen men are genuinely find it difficult to get out as Michaels go about their business. Exchanges are fairly crisp out there now. Decisions being contested with equal measure, which you'd only expect in an FAI Junior Cup semi-final. Oh. Steve McLaughlin had half an opening, but managed to pull it to the left of Adrian Walsh's goal. Danger averted. Paul Breen, 20 yards in front of him that he can move into, short of the halfway line, checks inside. Dylan Ruddy gets a good ball away to his number 9, Terence Doherty. But, well, Jerry Davis, you know, it has been Michaels, but Glengad, with the odd opportunity, you know, shown that they're very much in the match still.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, in the last 10 minutes, Terence Doherty has nearly 2 opportunities to get strikes on target. He was very unlucky with a bit of a mix-up in the Michaels' defence. Steve McLaughlin on the wide right and Christian McLaughlin on the wide left are beginning to get a foothold in the game, and they're very willing and very mobile, and they're tricky, and they got a lot of play up there, you know, so they really come back into the game now, Glengad. Adam Byrne in midfield is beginning to do really well and pick up good positions to get on the ball, and it's refreshing on both teams. Both teams are really looking to get on the ball and play, you know, which is a great sign. But it really is now. Is both teams really going at it now, and it's turned into a really good game now.
Yeah, just past the half-hour mark now, and it is. We're getting a bit more fluidity into the match. That it's opening up. Those early stop-start moments are a thing of the past now, and there's some decent passages of football, and both teams going at it. Game on. Christy McLaughlin, ball at his feet, looking for opportunities. The wall of Michael's, 3 players in front of him, and Carr just waited to pick up the crumbs, and he's created an opening, and Jimmy Carr has given Michaels the lead. Very, very clever, the dropping ball. He waited for it and just moved into space, checked to his left and struck it firmly low into the left-hand corner of Daniel Malarkey's goal. Michaels take the lead here in Cook Park, and in fairness, probably on the edge of play or on the balance of play, maybe just Michaels. But they're in front here, and the veteran Carr, 30 years old at this stage, but shown his predatory instincts are still very, very sharp, and he'll bite your arm off. 1-0 to Michaels here. Glengad, bit of a mountain to climb. Get themselves back into the match. Well, Jerry Davis, excellent goal. Your thoughts on it?
Yeah, it's a great goal from Jimmy. I got to see all day what he's going to try and do. Drop the shoulder and open the space up for himself. And it's a great hit, in fairness. It's right in the corner. Very difficult for Malarkey to get across to it. So 1-0 Michaels. Now game is on. It'll open up now a little bit, I think, But it's Glengard are now in this by any means at all. They're still looking for every opportunity now and chasing everything down, So early days, but 1-0 up to Michaels.
Well, definitely a popular score with the home support here. I noticed that Glengad have now switched wingers. Steve McLaughlin going across to the left and Christie switching onto the right, just to try their luck. But they'll need a bit more than luck to get themselves back into this match now. Of course, last year Michaels were at this stage, and we're turned over here in Cook Park by North End United. So James Chalky Walsh, one of the most experienced campaigners in the game, will know exactly that there's a long way to go in this match, and nothing for granted. There's still a lot of work to be done by Michaels, and maybe a little more by Glengad to get themselves back into the match. Breen's timing, it's immaculate. He just reads the game so well that he sees where the danger is, nips in, averts it, and then just cruises around. So Colin Bargery out wide, and the ball comes in again, but that's a little bit wayward and out over Malarkey's crossbar. So 36 minutes gone in Cook Park, 1-0 to St. Michael's. The prize, ticket to the Aviva next month. And wouldn't they love that? Conor Barrow shows good skill. John O'Brien wins himself a throw in down the corner, right beside the pavilion. Dylan Ruddy to James McKinney. Ruddy again, but he turned blind and the ball is running over. No. Oh. No, goal kick. Welsh goes long, but it's holding up in the wind a little bit. Chris McLaughlin adds to it. So Conor Barrow, but it's the move breaks down. Back with Walsh. Over to Sean Gearens. Time to look up and pick a pass. Matthew Byrne with the ball, looking for options. Skipper McLaughlin just goes, it's a bit of a Hail Mary, but trust for Steve McLaughlin. He's looking to pick a pass, been shadowed by Stephen Higgins. Opened up for Chrissy McLaughlin, but he got under it. Well positioned, but ball was rising all the time. Well, three Byrne brothers, Adam, Matthew and Michael out there. Father Shane, the manager. So big involvement. Couple of McLaughlins as well. Couple of Dohertys. Familiar Donegal names. Just some throw into Glengad, the opposite side, looking for something to happen. Into Steve McLaughlin. Two Michaels men now, a bit more space. Can he get a cross in? He tries, blocked out, and Jimmy Carr picks up the pieces and he's racing into the Glengad half. David Slattery and Armshaw in there to help, but McLaughlin knocks it to Matthew Byrne. But it's back with St. Michael's. Glengad having this problem getting the ball to stick. And if you keep on giving it back to the opposition, well, sooner or later they'll take advantage. 3-on-1. Three Michaels men back. The lone centre forward and Terence Doherty. Ball's knocked out for a throw in. Matthew Doherty pushes into the Michaels half. Long hanging ball. And Adrian Walsh, not the tallest of goalkeepers, but up high there to collect. Two minutes time. So Skipper McLaughlin, wide to McKinney, But you can see the tackle coming in, and Coonan gives it. Had to think about it, but he's given it to Glengad. Well, they keep on recycling it across the back four, but they need the out ball. They need a bit of penetration, and it's just not coming at the minute. And then the tackle is in, and Slattery's after picking up the pieces there. Matthew Bourne finds Doherty, but with Higgins halfway into the Glengad half, and shows some footwork to try to get out. And Spargery loses the ball. And it's with Christy McLaughlin, and a bit of anticipation. On, are we in? Oh. And Michael somehow, when danger threatened, just managed to clear the ball and averted. Well, Jerry Davis, Michael's in front, and probably deservedly so, but your thoughts on this first half in Cook Park?
Yeah, Michaels have probably just shaded it, to be fair, but I mean, Glengad are still well in the game. They create a few opportunities themselves, and it's sort of got into a game where Glengad are trying to play patient build up to from the back. I think they realise now going long is not really going to suit them up against Paul Breen and Sean Gearns at the heart of the Michaels' defence. But they've been patient. They've built through the middle, and they've got their front three on the ball. Some good work from Adam Byrne in there. From Barrow as well has done really well, and the McLaughlin's up front has done really, really well for them. Michaels have really benefited from that style of play, because they've counter-attacked well against Glengad with Armshaw in particular, and Jimmy Carr as well, lively in there, and that's where the goal came from, was a counter-attack. So it's really played out now into a pattern now, that, you know, and as this half comes to an end, second half be intriguing to see if Glengad change maybe, or if Michaels change, or what way it sits back, you know. But so far a decent game, and really look forward to the second half now.
Well, Jimmy Carr feeling the top of his head after a Glengad player sort of landed on top of him and sort of crashed unceremoniously to the ground. But Shane Ryan balled his feet just short of halfway into the Glengad half, but directly in front of Daniel Malarkey's goal. A two-man Glengad wall. Coonan happy with the distance. Slattery doing the hard yards, often up front on his own, but always a willing runner, shutting down and forcing players to get their head down, clear the ball. Breen again. I mean, he's such a strong man that a Breen clearance is a clearance and a half at the best of times. James McKinney trying to make a bit of progress into Barrow, or Steve McLaughlin, and they win a free, just close to the half-time whistle here. Glengad win a corner, and a couple of the tall men from the back. McLaughlin going forward, Adam Byrne going forward. Certainly a bit of height in there now. And they've gone short. Broke down Chris McLaughlin, set piece, and then he turns blind and tries to cross blind when they had an opportunity with a couple of tall men in the box, and they gave up the opportunity. Throw into Glengad. And okay. And Higgins finds Armshaw with a bit of space, and he's hit the angle of the upright and crossbar. What an effort from young Armshaw. Oh, tremendous effort. I mean, that could have been 2-0, and that could have been curtains for Glengad. Don't know, was there an offside there? Free out. So we're very close to the half-time whistle here in Coop Park, and there Vinnie Coonan, match official from Cork, blows the half-time whistle. Michael's leading 1-0 here at Coop Park. We have amateur international manager Jerry Davis here. Jerry, your thoughts on that opening half?
Yeah, it's been a fairly tight affair, to be honest. You know, we started off that way and then opened up later on in the game. Great goal from Jimmy Carr. Really lively Jimmy has been all the game. But it's still a lot to play for. It's only 1-0. The game itself has panned out with Glengad trying to play from the back, trying to play through the midfield, with Adam Byrne getting on it really well, and decent combinations with getting the front three in. And there's been a few chances there and a few opportunities. You know, probably a better final ball, and Glengad would have been in. Michaels are really, really dangerous on the counter attack. Armshaw in particular, and Jimmy Carr. You know, Jimmy with his goal, and then Armshaw hits the upright. You know, could have scored easily. You know, so it's been a tight enough affair, but both opportunities at both ends of the pitch. It opens up now for the second half, and you know, Glengad, look at the results away. They've gone away to Crettyard. They've won in this competition. They've gone away to Clonmel Town. So they won't be worried about coming to Munster now to try and get a result, you know. Still in the game. It's only 1-0, you know. Both managers have to look at what the second half brings. Do they keep it the same? Do they change it? So looking forward to the second half, Eamon.
Am I good to go? Can I start talking? Well, team's about to get underway here again. Yeah. We've had problems here today with our third deck, which connects the signal, and for reasons that we haven't been able to figure out, it just won't connect with the online service. So for that, we do apologise. Match is underway here. We look forward to a highlights package. This FEI Junior Cup semi-final, and Glengad straight away showing a bit of invention, and huge shout for a handball against I think it was Paul Breen, but linesman on the far side, flag up, offside. But Glengad inventions straight from the start to the second half. Glengad complaining about the length of time the ball took to be retrieved, but Adrian Walsh about to get things underway here again. William Armshaw. Slattery with the ball, looking to find a bit of space. Goes back to Cremens. So, ball with Carr. Back with Malarkey now, and Malarkey's had one or two opportunities to clear his lines and has fluffed his lines with wayward clearances, but he escapes. The wind blown across the pitch. You can feel it on my back, but not really interfering with the play. Unslattered. Matthew Bourne struggling to clear his lines under pressure from David Slattery, but eventually manages to do so. And great tackle by Higgins, and Higgins gets back again. Higgins, vastly experienced, former FEI Amateur Player of the Year. He's captained the Amateur International side. He's Michael's skipper here today, but done it all, won it all. Remarkable servant to the game. Along with, there's another man, Paul Breen, who's retired from the international game, but wouldn't Jerry Davis love to have a player of his calibre still available to him? Higgins 5 yards inside the Glengad half, and he finds Armshaw. Good first touch. That killer first touch just gives him that extra half second. Know what he wants to do. Armshaw definitely one for the future. Instantly recognisable as the only player out there other than the goalkeepers wearing a pair of gloves today. Diminutive of stature, but definitely a lot of talent. Slattery again, digging the ball out. Jerry Davis, Glengad certainly have it all to do in the second period.
Yes, you do, Eamon. That doesn't seem to be any. It's certainly not changes in personnel, and certainly in the way they've set up. It looks the same as they finished this first half. But it's only one goal in it. They've certainly been bright enough in the first half. Glengad, they've created a number of opportunities, and with a better ball, a better final ball, and a bit more luck, they could have got in there. So they're still well in the game, and they'll feel they've a real chance here.
Well, suffice to say, I suppose Glengad will be happy enough not to have conceded at this stage. I don't think they've shown their form, or the form that's got them to this stage of the competition, but we know that they're very experienced, and they're probably just trying to play their way into the game a little bit more, not with passes like that, and another sloppy pass, and suddenly they have to clear their lines rather hurriedly. Steve McLaughlin on the ball. Some confusion there. A bit of Shane Ryan. Ball under control, gets his head up, has options, down the line, checks inside, ball with Carr. Carr into Armshaw, and there's that turn again. He's shown some form today. Proven quite elusive, and his low centre of gravity allowing him to get down low and turn his man, and having already extracted a yellow, Glengad are forewarned about this man's ability, and he gets a lovely cross in, and Malarkey rises high. There's a route one, and opportunity. Adrian Walsh somehow manages to pluck the balls off the feet of centre forward Terence Doherty just as about to strike. In fairness, he had his back to goal, but Walsh doing excellent there, off his line, averted potentially dangerous situation, but Glengad some hope there. Armshaw again. Glengad, and a very hurried clearance there from Dylan Ruddy, just clear his lines anywhere. Of the two, Michael's settling the better at this stage of the game, but you know, we're just past the 20-minute mark at this stage. Still scoreless here in Cook Park. Referee's been good so far. No histrionics, just getting on with it, calling most things right. Once a quick word with Shane Ryan. Over and done with. Well done. So ball at the feet of Glengad's keeper John G. McLaughlin. Gone short to James McKinney, and he rolls it in. It's with Doherty, and it opens up a little bit for him, and he has a shot from distance, but always gone wide, and well wide of Adrian Walsh's goal. Adrian with a up on this afternoon. His opposite number all in yellow, although I think there might be a pair of black tights in there somewhere. So Gearens knocks a long ball into the corner, and John O'Brien chasing it, but knocked out for a throw in at level with the 18-yard line. So Carr in the corner. Another turn, and finds his man. And looked like a handball to me, right in front of the referee, but Chrissy McLaughlin, opposite wing. The Michael's player in the centre circle holding his arm. That's Colin Bargery, but he's up, he looks okay, and we'll continue with the battle. Malarkey long again, and Breen comes from distance and wins it. So many times he does that. Remarkable player. And he goes long, knocks it long again. Oh. So James McKinney, but loses out. John Connery. Slattery looking to get himself involved, but Malarkey collects. And Matthew Bourne has it. Now skipper McLaughlin. And over to McKinney, just looking for a way out. Steve McLaughlin complains, but Coonan's having none of it. Get on with it. Carr for once loses out. But complaints from Glengad. Now, referee having a word with Adam Byrne, who contested the decision, and from my vantage point, it looked as if Adam Byrne has a very valid argument, but overruled, and Michael's ball. Ball ricochets off Armshaw, and a throw in for Glengad down the corner. More and more the play beginning to be condensed into the Glengad half. And the Inishowen men are genuinely find it difficult to get out as Michaels go about their business. Exchanges are fairly crisp out there now. Decisions being contested with equal measure, which you'd only expect in an FAI Junior Cup semi-final. Oh. Steve McLaughlin had half an opening, but managed to pull it to the left of Adrian Walsh's goal. Danger averted. Paul Breen, 20 yards in front of him that he can move into, short of the halfway line, checks inside. Dylan Ruddy gets a good ball away to his number 9, Terence Doherty. But, well, Jerry Davis, it has been Michaels, but Glengad, with the odd opportunity, shown that they're very much in the match still.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, in the last 10 minutes, Terence Doherty has nearly 2 opportunities to get strikes on target. He was very unlucky with a bit of a mix-up in the Michaels' defence. Steve McLaughlin on the wide right and Christian McLaughlin on the wide left are beginning to get a foothold in the game, and they're very willing and very mobile, and they're tricky, and they got a lot of play up there, so they really come back into the game now, Glengad. Adam Byrne in midfield is beginning to do really well and pick up good positions to get on the ball, and it's refreshing when both teams are really looking to get on the ball and play, which is a great sign. But it really is now is both teams really going at it now, and it's turned into a really good game now.
Yeah, just past the half-hour mark now, and it is, we're getting a bit more fluidity into the match, that it's opening up, those early stop-start moments are a thing of the past now, and, there's some decent passages of football, and both teams going at it. Game on. Christy McLaughlin, ball at his feet, looking for opportunities. The wall of Michaels, 3 players in front of him. And Carr just waited to pick up the crumbs, and he's created an opening, and Jimmy Carr has given Michaels the lead. Very, very clever, the dropping ball. He waited for it and just moved into space, checked to his left and struck it firmly low into the left-hand corner of Daniel Malarkey's goal. Michaels take the lead here in Cook Park, and in fairness, probably on the edge of play or on the balance of play, maybe just Michaels. But they're in front here, and the veteran Carr, 30 years old at this stage, but shown his predatory instincts are still very, very sharp, and he'll bite your arm off. 1-0 to Michaels here. Glengad, bit of a mountain to climb. Get themselves back into the match. Well, Jerry Davis, excellent goal. Your thoughts on it?
Yeah, it's a great goal from Jimmy. I got to see all day what he's going to try and do. Drop the shoulder and open the space up for himself. And it's a great hit, in fairness. It's right in the corner. Very difficult for the Monarchy to get across to it. You know, so 1-0 Michaels. Now game is on. You know, it'll open up now a little bit, I think, you know. But it's Glengard are now in this by any means at all. You know, they're still looking for every opportunity now and chasing everything down, you know. So early days, but 1-0 up to Michaels.
Well, definitely a popular score with the home support here. I noticed that Glengad have now switched wingers. You know, Steve McLaughlin going across to the left and Christie switching onto the right, just to try their luck. But they'll need a bit more than luck to get themselves back into this match now. Of course, last year Michaels were at this stage and we're turned over here in Cook Park by North End United. So James Chalky Walsh, one of the most experienced campaigners in the game, will know exactly that there's a long way to go in this match, and you know, nothing for granted. There's still a lot of work to be done by Michaels, and maybe a little more by Glengad to get themselves back into the match. Breen's timing, it's immaculate. He just reads the game so well that he sees where the danger is, nips in, averts it, and you know, then just cruises around. So Colin Bargery out wide, and the ball comes in again, but that's a little bit wayward and out over Malarkey's crossbar. So 36 minutes gone in Cook Park, 1-0 to St. Michael's. The prize, ticket to the Aviva next month. And wouldn't they love that? Conor Barrow shows good skill. John O'Brien wins himself a throw in down the corner, right beside the pavilion. Dylan Ruddy to James McKinney. Ruddy again, but he turned blind and the ball is running over. No, no, goal kick. Welsh goes long, but it's holding up in the wind a little bit. Chris McLaughlin adds to it. So Conor Barrow, but it's the move breaks down. Back with Walsh. Over to Sean Gearans. Time to look up and pick a pass. Matthew Bourne with the ball, looking for options. Skipper McLaughlin just goes, it's a bit of a Hail Mary, but trust for Stephen McLaughlin. He's looking to pick a pass, been shadowed by Stephen Higgins. Opened up for Chrissy McLaughlin, but he got under it. Well positioned, but ball was rising all the time. Well, three Byrne brothers, Adam, Matthew and Michael out there. Father Shane, the manager. So big involvement. Couple of McLaughlins as well. Couple of Dohertys. Familiar Donegal names. Just some throw into Glengad, the opposite side, looking for something to happen. Into Steve McLaughlin. Two Michaels men now, a bit more space. Can he get a cross in? He tries, blocked out, and Jimmy Carr picks up the pieces, and he's racing into the Glengad half. David Slattery and Armshaw in there to help, but McLaughlin knocks it to Matthew Bourne. But it's back with St. Michael's. Glengad having this problem getting the ball to stick. And if you keep on giving it back to the opposition, well, sooner or later they'll take advantage. 3-on-1. Three Michaels men back. Delone, centre forward, and Terence Doherty. Ball's knocked out for a throw in. Matthew Doherty pushes into the Michaels half, long hanging ball, and Adrian Walsh, not the tallest of goalkeepers, but up high there to collect. Two minutes time. So Skipper McLaughlin, wide to McKinney, but you can see the tackle coming in, and Coonan gives it. Had to think about it, but he's given it to Glengad. Well, they keep on recycling it across the back four, but they need the out ball. They need a bit of penetration, and it's just not coming at the minute. And then the tackle is in, and Slattery's after picking up the pieces there. Matthew Bourne. Finds Doherty, but with Higgins halfway into the Glengad half, and shows some footwork. Try to get out. Spargery loses the ball. And it's with Christy McLaughlin and a bit of anticipation. On, are we in? Oh. And Michael somehow, when danger threatened, just managed to clear the ball and averted. Well, Jerry Davis, Michael's in front and probably deservedly so, but your thoughts on this first half in Cook Park?
Yeah, Michaels have probably just shaded it, to be fair, but I mean, Glengad are still well in the game. They create a few opportunities themselves, and it's sort of it got into a game where Glengad are trying to play patient build up to from the back. I think they realise now going long is not really going to suit them up against Paul Breen and Sean Gearns at the heart of the Michaels' defence. But they've been patient. They've built through the middle and they've got their front three on the ball. Some good work from Adam Byrne in there. From Barrow as well has done really well, and the McLaughlin's up front has done really, really well for them. Michaels have really benefited from that style of play because they've counter-attacked well against Glengad with Armshaw in particular and Jimmy Carr as well, lively in there, and that's where the goal came from, was a counter-attack. So it's really played out now into a pattern now that, you know, and as this half comes to an end, second half be intriguing to see if Glengad change maybe, or if Michaels change, or what way it sits back, you know. But so far a decent game, and really look forward to the second half now.
Well, Jimmy Carr feeling the top of his head after a Glengad player sort of landed on top of him and sort of crashed unceremoniously to the ground. But Shane Ryan balled his feet just short of halfway into the Glengad half, but directly in front of Daniel Malarkey's goal. A two-man Glengad wall. Coonan happy with the distance. Slattery doing the hard yards, often up front on his own, but always a willing runner, shutting down and forcing players to get their head down, clear the ball. Breen again. I mean, he's such a strong man that a Breen clearance is a clearance and a half at the best of times. James McKinney trying to make a bit of progress into Barrow, or Steve McLaughlin, and they win a free just close to the half-time whistle here. Glengad win a corner, and a couple of the tall men from the back, McLaughlin going forward, Adam Byrne going forward. Certainly a bit of height in there now. And they've gone short. Broke down Chris McLaughlin, set piece, and then he turns blind and tries to cross blind when they had an opportunity with a couple of tall men in the box, and they gave up the opportunity. Throw into Glengad. Okay. And Higgins finds Armshaw with a bit of space, and he's hit the angle of the upright and crossbar. What an effort from young Armshaw. Oh, tremendous effort. I mean, that could have been 2-0 and that could have been curtains for Glengad. Don't know, was there an offside there? Free out. very close to the half-time whistle here in Coop Park, and there Vinnie Coonan, match official from Cork, blows the half-time whistle. Michael's leading 1-0 here at Coop Park. We have amateur international manager Jerry Davis here. Jerry, your thoughts on that opening half?
Yeah, it's been a fairly tight affair, to be honest. We started off that way and then opened up later on in the game. Great goal from Jimmy Carr. Really lively Jimmy has been all the game. But it's still a lot to play for. It's only 1-0. The game itself has panned out with Glengad trying to play from the back, trying to play through the midfield, with Adam Byrne getting on it really well, and decent combinations with getting the front three in. And there's been a few chances there and a few opportunities. Probably a better final ball, and Glengad would have been in. Michaels are really, really dangerous on the counter attack. Armshaw in particular, and Jimmy Carr. Jimmy with his goal, and then Armshaw hits the upright. Could have scored easily. So it's been a tight enough affair, but both opportunities at both ends of the pitch. It opens up now for the second half, Eamon. Glengad, look at the results away. They've gone away to Crettyard. They've won in this competition. They've gone away to Clonmel Town. So they won't be worried about coming to Munster now to try and get a result. Still in the game. It's only 1-0. Both managers have to look at what the second half brings. Do they keep it the same? Do they change it? So looking forward to the second half, Eamon.
Am I good to go? Can I start talking? Well, team's about to get underway here again. Yeah. We've had problems here today with our third deck, which connects the signal, and for reasons that we haven't been able to figure out, it just won't connect with the online service. So for that, we do apologise. Match is underway here. We look forward to a highlights package. This FEI Junior Cup semi-final, and Glengad straight away showing a bit of invention, and huge shout for a handball against I think it was Paul Breen, but linesman on the far side, flag up, offside. But Glengad inventions straight from the start to the second half. Glengad complaining about the length of time the ball took to be retrieved, but Adrian Walsh about to get things underway here again. William Armshaw, Slattery with the ball, looking to find a bit of space. Goes back to Cremens. So, ball with Carr. Back with Malarkey now, and Malarkey's had one or two opportunities to clear his lines and has fluffed his lines with wayward clearances, but he escapes. The wind blown across the pitch. You can feel it on my back. but not really interfering with the play. Oh, and Slattery. Matthew Bourne struggling to clear his lines under pressure from David Slattery, but eventually manages to do so. And great tackle by Higgins, and Higgins gets back again. Higgins, vastly experienced, former FEI Amateur Player of the Year. He's captained the Amateur International side. He's Michael's skipper here today, but done it all, won it all. Remarkable servant to the game. Along with, there's another man, Paul Breen, who's retired from the international game, but wouldn't Jerry Davis love to have a player of his calibre still available to him? Higgins 5 yards inside the Glengad half, and he finds Armshaw. Good first touch. That killer first touch just gives him that extra half second. Know what he wants to do. Armshaw definitely one for the future. Instantly recognisable as the only player out there other than the goalkeepers wearing a pair of gloves today. Diminutive of stature, but definitely a lot of talent. Slattery again, digging the ball out. Jerry Davis, Glengad certainly have it all to do in the second period.
Yes, you do, Eamon. That doesn't seem to be any. It's certainly not changes in personnel, and certainly in the way they've set up, it looks the same as they finished this first half. But it's only one goal in it. They've certainly been bright enough in the first half. Glengad, they've created a number of opportunities, and with a better ball, a better final ball, and a bit more luck, they could have gone in there. So they're still well in the game, and they'll feel they've a real chance here.
Well, suffice to say, it's either game over for Glengad or what a humdinger. Recalling last year's semi-final when John Godkin's North End lowered the colours of St. Michael's and went away from here with a famous victory on the way to eventually defeating Pike Rovers on penalties in the Aviva. First ever win for a Wexford club. North End, who threatened for so many years, finally got one across the line. The monkey off the back, as Mr. Godkin said. He'll be suffering this week. Leeds United fan. Defeat to Birmingham yesterday. Not on the cards, but the nature of the championship. Armshaw just ran it over the end line. Glengad still happy to go short, wait for those openings, trying to prise open that very, very solid, very, very experienced St. Michael's defence. I mean, just international caps floating all over the place in there. Slattery to Jimmy Carr. Good ball for Bargery, and it's John O'Brien raiding down the left flank. Oh, so Glengad, centre forward turns 30, looking to create the opportunity. Balls with 7. Steve McLaughlin overstretched, and they reached out and centre forward Terence McLaughlin has obviously had an exchange of words with Vinnie Coonan, who didn't like what he said, and so after flashing another yellow card to go with the first half card that Seamus Doherty picked up. So 2-0 to Glengad in the yellow card corner. Slattery uses his head, bit of head. Oh, Steve McLaughlin finds Barrow. Ball breaks wide to Christy McLaughlin. Looking to get a turn, looking to get a shot away. Oh, and rising shot. Very well positioned. Great opportunity that they created. Glengad breaking clear. Conor Barrow eventually feeding Christy McLaughlin. Cut inside Paul Breen, and got a shot away, but always rising and over the bar. But Glengad threatening and showing a bit more ambition going forward into this match here in Cook Park. So 58 minutes gone here in Tipperary. 1-0, that Jimmy Carr goal separating the two sides. Both of them looking for that elusive ticket to the Aviva. And Michaels win that little scrap outside. Oh, Slattery sized up, and it came off the tie of Matthew Bourne. And that's out. Throw in to Michaels. Glengad showing a little more urgency, getting the ball back to Michaels, who are quite happy to have it fed to them. And you hear the shout from Paul Breen, and he's come from 20-25 yards away to claim it. Gets a good connection. Lovely striker of the ball. A lot of support on the opposite side for Glengad and the howls of derision when a decision goes against them. But as said before, Cork match official Vinnie Coonan has been very good today. Dylan Ruddy nearly on his end line. Needs to get it away to safety, and eventually does, but John Connery loses control and throw in. Adam Bourne rises high. Steve McLaughlin. But again, out for touch. Michael's biting every opportunity, getting a nick, getting a touch, just breaking up that fluid game that Glengad crave to get a rhythm and build up a head of steam to create that opportunity that might just get them back into this match as they need to. Christy McLaughlin on the ball in the centre circle. Adam Bourne looking to, but their brain just goes long, no problems. Slattery uses his weight, and Carr takes advantage, but raced away from him. So Adam Bourne moving forward again. John O'Brien tigerish in the tackle over on the far touchline. So Steve McLaughlin, ball robbed off him, and I think Bargery getting the ball forward. Matthew Byrne. Christy Bennett. That's full back. Oh, and Brain takes it full on the rear end. And, Paul Breen threw himself at that ball as fullback Seamus Doherty got forward on the edge of the box, trying his luck from about 20 yards out, but Breener's butt in the way, big time. With John Connery trying one over the top, but just not working out for him on this occasion. Oh, I wonder, Jerry Davis, sort of this stage, would Glengad manager Shane Byrne be thinking of a change, shaking or freshening things up?
Yeah, he might be. But having said that, Glengad are actually getting into the second half now. Adam Byrne is getting a lot of ball in midfield and they're breaking quite well. Stephen McLaughlin on the left-hand side now has got a couple of opportunities. He's done really, really well up against an experienced Chris Higgins. And a bit of luck now, he could have got an end product on it, but they're still well in the game, Glengad. As I said, they have a lot of experience. They won the Inishowen League the last 3 seasons in the bounce, which is a tough league and a good, well-organised league, and it's a tough one up there. So they're well in the game now, getting a lot of ball as well. So early days yet in the second half, probably to making changes. But the next few minutes will show a little bit of story about what way it's going.
Armshaw showing his trickery again, but intercept bad break again, and McLaughlin. Yeah, they're sticking to their game plan, Glengad. There's no panic. There's no panic as Paul Breen knocks it out for a throw in halfway down the touchline on the far side of the pitch. The sun breaks out here in Tipperary. It's coming up to the hour mark. St. Michael's 1-0 to the good. That Jimmy Carr first half strike separating the two sides, and Slattery looks to break forward, but Glengad get back. Slattery again, and he feeds Armshaw. Armshaw stops the ball. It's back with Carr. Like Armshaw, Kappa White native. Well, now you hear the shout from Breener as Christy McLaughlin looks to take on Chris Higgins, but only one winner there. That's Conor Barrow going off on the hour mark. Midfielder showed some decent touches, and it's Michael Byrne coming into the match for the last half hour. Manager Byrne deciding to make a change early. Substitute Michael Byrne, so the 6-footer, bit different to Barrow, so you might give them a bit more presence in the air up front. If he gets forward from his midfield berth. Pairing up alongside Colin Bargery of St. Michael's. first touch, but he's knocked it aimlessly. Paul Breen more measured. Bargery again, getting the head up, going short, finding Carr, and again Michael's trying to work the triangles. Shane Ryan gets it, looking to get a cross in. The cross comes in. Malarkey under the ball as David Slattery attacked it as well. And here's him. Glengad get the ball forward quickly, but Michaels mop it up. Carr goes long, trying to find Armshaw. Might run out beyond the end line. Has he kept it in? No, he hasn't. Good idea, says Chris Higgins, and you'd have to agree with that. Sean Guerin shouting out shape. Oh, the ball cannons off Terence Doherty for a Michaels throw in. Bargery skies up, still managed to get it just short of the centre circle. Matthew Byrne knocks it forward, but that's going to be collected by Adrian Walsh. Walsh has a good look. Waits before he picks it up. Frustrating for Terence Doherty as Walsh eats a few more seconds into the clock. To Breen, and it's back with Walsh again, it's back with Breen again, and options for Breen. Signals crossed, and back with Glengad. So Matthew Byrne looking to go long. Now recycles it across to John G. McLaughlin, Glengad skipper, looking for something to happen. Adam Byrne in the middle of the park, seeing a lot of the ball is Adam Byrne. It's all measured by Glengad, and a bit of a shout, but sure, there was nothing in it. James McKinney trying to usher the ball over the end line, but the presence of a Michaels man over in the far corner just knocks it into touch. And we have a change from Michaels now. That's John Connery going off. So Connery makes his way into the dugout, and it's Joey Mulcahy who's entered the match for the last 25 minutes or so. Dave Mulcahy running the ball, and he gets his cross in, but nobody attacking the near post there. Jerry Davis, FAI international manager, a lot of experience in that Michaels back four, and they've been doing very well, haven't they?
They have been doing very well, Eamon. Paul Breen and Sean Guerin's have been very good, very strong. Certainly, when anything from direct from Glengad, Christopher Higgins has had a right ding dong with Christy McLaughlin, the wide left player off Glengad, who's had a really, really good game. So that's been a great tussle there. But yeah, they've been fairly strong. There hasn't been a lot of chances. Hasn't been a lot of chances in either end. Also impressed with the Glengad back four, who've done really well, and denied Michaels any real opportunities, with the exception of the goal. But still very tight. Still all to play for.
Bargery knocks the ball after the free went, and Vinnie Coonan has a word. We know what you're doing. We know what you're doing. Where you're wasting the old time. Do that again, and you'll be in my book. This is the man from the Rebel County. And they go short again, Glengad, you know. Probing, looking for this break. Joey Mulcahy gets a touch, but the ball falls to substitute. Terence Byrne. Glengad again. Just trying to make hard yards, and they have been hard yards because Michaels have been snapping at their heels. James Shockey was to be very happy with the attitude his players have shown today. They've been well up for this, as you'd expect. And another ball goes over the end line, and nobody seems to be in a huge hurry. Even the ball boy is a bit reluctant throwing that one in. So Walsh to Breen. Breen pushes towards the halfway line. Head up, and gets into Armshaw, but back again. And Bargery had a good game in the middle of the park today. As Bargery, you know, sort of has gone about his business in a very efficient way. On the ball again, head up, looking for the option. The commentator's course knocks an aimless ball. So Adam Byrne on the ball, but Johnny Mulcahy back to Breen. You know, to Cremens, who's all too tight. But Shane Ryan on the ball. Mulcahy out wide to Armshaw. Armshaw looking for Mulcahy, but overcooks that one. Good touch. And no opportunity, but Walsh off his line to smother it as Adam Byrne tried to get on the end of an intricate little pattern that weaved its way into the Michaels area, but danger averted. Oh, Jimmy Carr with a typical Jimmy Carr turn, and there's two men on him, and the man from Callaway wins a free, feeling his left ankle and a little ginger, but as he walks away. But it's his goal that separates us here in Cook Park this afternoon. So 71st minute here, and Bargery with the free, gonna knock it long. Well, it's over towards Slattery, who's very good in the air, and he gets something on it. The skipper McLaughlin looking to break out of the fence and goes long, but only as far as his manager Shane Bourne, who knocks it back as Michael's prepared to take a throw in over on the far side. Glengad player down on the ground looking for attention. And always an opportunity for a quick drop of water when you have these breaks, but he's up, and it's James McKinney. But now David Mulcahy is down, or David Slattery it is, who's down on the ground looking for a bit of attention. I don't know if he landed awkwardly last time he went up to challenge for the ball, one that he won, but it's in that area of the pitch where he's on the ground. There's a tracksuit top coming off over there. Chalky, Walsh having a word, and it looks as if that's the end of David Slattery's match. He's walking off the pitch, head down a little bit. Physio in attendance. No, he's off the pitch, but it looks as if he wants to continue. And Mulcahy shows good endeavour, but no one in the box, and Carr drops off as well, allows Matthew Byrne to progress unchallenged. Byrne looks to he finds Michael Byrne in the middle of the park, but a bad first touch, and it's nicked off his feet. John O'Brien on the ball. O'Brien, he eventually wins the free. He went down very slow, and he's getting these slow hand clap from Glengad supporters over there right on the halfway line. Glengad flag limp in the breeze over there. Glengad not a million miles away where the Irish Golf Open was hosted last year up in Ballyliffin. Remember those scenes where Donegal looked a picture. Great advertisement for Bord Fáilte. But there's work to be done for the Inishowen men here. And Bargery again wins a ball in the middle of the park. Goes about his business very quietly but very effectively, Jay Davis, Colin Bargery.
He does actually. He's done really well today, sitting in front of the back four, picking up little bits and pieces and just a bit of protection on them, you know. I think Michaels now are happy now that John Connery came off and Joey Mulcahy come on as sort of a more defending player. And I see Richie Ryan getting ready to come on. So you can see what way another of these sort of hold the midfield player will give a bit of physicality in there. So you can see what way James Walsh is thinking, all right, you know, with now a little 15 minutes to go in the game.
Well, that's right. Chalky's saying what we have we hold, and it's up to Glengad to try break us down, and so far 75 minutes gone, that hasn't happened. So so Richie Ryan about to come in, and it's Shane Ryan, who's had an excellent match in fairness to him. Clocked up the mileage there today, and very neat and tidy what he did. Excellent player, young Ryan. Another man from the Saints who's donned the green of Ireland. So wide to Seamus Doherty, but Higgy nicks it gives it to Slattery. It was recovered from that. Nick, and he still has Higgins wide, so down near the corner flag. Slattery prepared to eat a bit of time, but Jimmy Carr wins the ball, makes a turn, and Slattery protects it on the edge of the box. 2, 3 Glengad men around him. Out to Carr, well used to a one-on-one, but on this occasion, Seamus Doherty gets a nick. So Chris Higgins with the throw in. And it goes to Jimmy again, right up by the corner flag to Higgins. Opportunity to cross, but chose not to. It's Matthew Byrne. He's seen a lot of the ball today. A lot of measured clearances. So Michael Byrne, and it's across to James McKinney, and McKinney pushes forward, but John O'Brien in with the interception. Dylan Ruddy, and there, like Glengad player goes to the ground looking for a free, but Vinnie Coonan's having none of it. So McKinney to McLaughlin. Now Matthew Byrne on the ball, on his 18-yard line, coming forward, head up, looking for an option. And that option is Seamus Doherty. Doherty back to Byrne. Byrne knocks it and aims to put it into Bargery again. Richie Ryan gives the ball away. A couple of missed directed passes there. It's Glengad skipper McLaughlin. It's back with keeper Malarkey. And Michael's more than happy with this. Just ball going backwards away from Adrian Welch's goal. And as long as that happens, St. Michael's are heading to the Aviva. As the international manager Jerry Davis said, Richie Ryan in the middle of the park, just adding that bit of solidity. Breener doesn't get a good contact and edge of substitute. Michael Byrne gets a shot away, and Breen had got back in position and managed to get a shin to it, and it's gone out for a corner for Glengad, and maybe one of these set pieces will be the key that'll get them back into this match. And they've gone short again. Oh, and an opportunity. The ball flashed across the goal, and no Glengad man to opportunity, and hands on his back, danger averted, and free to Michaels. And it looks like Jimmy Carr is on the ground as well, and that was off the ball. So is that muscular? I think he needs attention. He's rubbing his head, but I think it's his ankle. Normally it's here's Foley who would be making the run onto the pitch, but it's Thomas Holmes there today. The ice bag, it's on Carr's right knee, and the way he's holding his head, he seems to be in a bit of pain. I don't know, Jerry Davis, did you see what happened that has Carr on the ground?
No, I don't think anyone was near him when he went down, so not like Jimmy to go down, so we wait and see it now. Looks to be a bit of a pain, all right, unlucky with Glengad there. Good move from the corner. Obviously they're conscious of the strength Michaels have from set pieces with Paul Breen and Sean Gearns in there, so it was a good, well worked corner, and they were unfortunate with the ball across, but now it's coming to the stage when they have to sort of press on and start getting on Michaels, and you can sort of feel that now, so it's there could be an interesting last 10 minutes in this game.
As you say, 10 minutes to go here in Cook Park. St. Michael's leading 1-0. Looking to return to the Aviva Stadium to contest the final of the New Balance FAI Junior Cup. Glengad 10 minutes to retrieve the situation here, but not with balls like that. Out for a throw into St. Michael's, and they'll take their time. They will take their time. They'll eat into the clock. All those seconds mounting up. He's looking for Armshaw down in the left-hand corner. Armshaw tries a trick or two, but it doesn't work out. But Richie Ryan putting himself about, and it's back with Armshaw. And Armshaw gets his cross in, and Slattery in, nicks it, and it's a penalty here. It's a penalty for St. Michael's. And skipper McLaughlin complains that it was Slattery who fouled him, but Vinnie Coonan is absolutely sure, because he's yellow carded McLaughlin, and an opportunity now for Michaels to put this game to bed, really. A 2-0 game over. Slattery needs attention. The ball was with Jimmy Carr there a second ago. Now it's with Richie Ryan. Slattery has stayed down, and I suppose in many ways John G. McLaughlin, he's every right to feel aggrieved, but really that was William Armshaw winning the ball back in the left-hand corner, got to the end line, knocked it across. Didn't seem to be too much trouble at hand, but Slattery reacted quickly to a bad first touch from McLaughlin. As McLaughlin went for his second touch, he took Slattery out of it, and Coonan pointed to the spot straight away. I mean, he'd no hesitation, and I mean, it's probably down to a bad first touch, and that could be curtains. So, Daniel Malarkey, he's walking around the penalty area trying to compose himself, and it's a substitute, Joey Mulcahy, who actually has the ball. He's placed it on the spot, barely on the spot, but it is on the spot. So Mulcahy against Malarkey, and up he comes, and it's 2-0 to St. Michael's. And Mulcahy runs into the corner, and you can hear the cheers of the Saints fans, and they're all hooping and hollering in the corner, and 2-0 to St. Michael's, and a mountain as tall as Galtymore off to our left for them to climb. That should be it. That should be it, done and dusted. But Michael's ready to make a substitution. That could be game over for Glengad. And Chris Higgins shouts out clean sheet. First man back in position was Paul Breen. So Glengad, they got to pull it out of the fire now, and the way things have gone to date, it doesn't look as if they can manage it. Jerry Davis, 2-0, game over.
Well, there's not a whole pile of time left. A bit unfortunate for McLaughlin, who's had a really, really good game. The heart of Glengad's defence. I think he was just caught with the wrong side. He didn't see Slattery coming in. So very unfortunate there. It's been a game of very few opportunities. So it was always going to be tight, but great finish from the penalty, top corner. No keeper's going to save that one.
Well, 5-6 minutes and whatever Vinnie Coonan adds on for injury time, and in fairness there was a little bit of injury time, so there might be 8 or 9 minutes, but the way the St. Michael's defence have played today, whatever about giving up one, you just cannot see them conceding 2 and 2 and 8. Those numbers are just stacking up against Glengad, and the clock is ticking, and that could be a long journey home for the boys from Glengad. And the heavy tackle on Jimmy Carr as he went goalwards, and Carr has stayed down again, and there's another yellow card on the way for Glengad. Referee Coonan is biding his time, but I think it was one of the substitutes. I think that one might be for Michael Byrne. He's come in for a bit of attention today, but Jimmy Carr normally does, and I mean, it's that drop of the shoulder, go left, go right. He just teases and torments, and he's managed to do that today. He gave Michaels the platform to build on, and he's up again. He's up again, and he's placing the ball, but maybe it's the penalty man. No, it's I think Carr's over it, and he's given a signal about some type of whip going on it, and he knocks it to the back post, but Malarkey grabs it, and he goes route one, but it's 3 against 1, and you know, luck would have it. O'Brien with the header comes off Stephen McLaughlin, and a throw in to St. Michael's. Another Michael's man coming in, I think at this time is David Slattery. Slattery again, ran the hard yards up front, done very well, won the penalty, and is getting a generous round of applause as he departs. So that's Ollie O'Driscoll in for the last few minutes. See it out. If it's going to happen for Glengad, it has to happen now, but not if you're going to give the ball away to Chris Higgins, and Jimmy Carr nicks it off, and Colin Bargery again with the ball, and he McLaughlin goes down and holds his face. And the tackle that was much lower down the body, but anyway, O'Driscoll, and another free, and Malarkey runs after the ball over in the corner just to retrieve it.
Knock the match today is Jimmy Carr from St. Michael's.
You heard that announcement. Jimmy Carr, the man from Capahwhite, first goal, is the man of the match today. And few would argue with that decision. Thought Colin Bargery was very good. Paul Breen was immense. But the little man, the wing wizard, fastest milkman in Tipperary, picks up the man of the match prize. Well, Jerry Davis, we're heading into injury time here at Cook Park. 2-0 to St. Michael's. Deserved winners on the day?
Well, if it finishes this, yeah, probably, and probably just a little bit of experience probably made a difference in the end. You know, they've been here before with this at this stage. You know, last year they were beaten semi-finalists here, lost it late on. So you know they've had that little bit of experience, and that's probably made a difference on the day. You know.
Well, the final embers on this match, a decent game, and I mean, was competitive for long periods, and at 1-0 Glengad were always in it. That second killer goal, that penalty, it's in the 80th minute, you know, so that it was really game set match, and Jimmy Carr just trying to eat into the clock down in the corner, and I mean they're still very game. The Michaels players, they're just trying to pin them back, and Glengad trying to work it out, and on this occasion they've managed to do it. And not with Adam Byrne, but Chris Higgins knocks it back, and for once, Bargery with a weak touch, but followed by another weak touch. I think Bargery's feeling his groin there a little bit, and he's walking a little ginger, but he's clocked up a lot of miles today there in the middle of the park. Just very good foil in front of the back four. We're at this stage, sort of it's at Vinnie Coonan's discretion where we're going. Michaels have been very good. They've harried, they chased, and as Jerry Davis said, they probably just had too much craft and experience to be able to see this match out and do what they had to do, and that is win this semi-final. Semi-finals are just about the result in many ways, not so much about the performance, but in fairness to Michaels, at times they've been very good today, and for Glengad it seems like it's just one round too far beyond that 6-hour trip back up to Inishowen awaits, and it'll be a long journey. Matthew Byrne looks to get a pass, and I'm trying to remember the last time Adrian Walsh actually saw the ball, so it's Michaels have either owned it or the match has been played in the Glengad half, and that's how effective the Saints have been. Chalky Walsh would be really happy with the performance, he'd be delighted with the result, but Michaels have done what they had to do, and that's just win this match, and that's what they've done. And there goes the final whistle here in Cook Park, Tipperary. Michaels have beaten Glengad 2-0. Michaels advanced to the final. We await to see who they will face, but Glengad, brave effort, but not good enough on the day. Michaels more than deserving winners.